experiment.
Boom.
We good, bro. We good. We are good.
Awesome.
So yeah, thanks for coming through, bro. Appreciate it.
worries.
Appreciate it.
You're still gonna stick with the 100 monkeys intro?
Yeah, you like that intro?
Yeah, 100 monkeys.
That actually
I've wondered how you made that.
that was Levi.
Levi.
So there's a guy there's a podcast that I have. I've done 3 of him. He was one of my good mates who had brain cancer, and he was a voice actor and an actor,
Oh man.
and there was him.
Oh yeah, because it sounded really interesting.
He's really good, but he passed away unfortunately.
Hate to see it.
Yeah. Puts things into perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, before we answer any questions or get in any convos, you want to get into this infinity snack, bro?
Sure, bro. I don't know how wide to open my hand to receive it.
I'll just
It
move
could be
this
that big.
over.
It could be that big. Could be a
Alright,
bloody
bro.
a
So,
marble or a watermelon.
bro, this is. I mean, I like having goes good with a coffee, right? Or like a hot chocolate or something. So passionate about this, bro. So passionate.
I'm
about
nervous
this.
that I won't like it, but I'm sure I will. But
So I'm
like-
just gonna take it easy on you for the first one.
okay.
Okay. So this is like, one, two. This is like level 3.
And how hard does the level go?
We're gonna after level 3 we go level 4.
Okay.
And there's,
Oh, you're actually taking me through. Okay, good.
Taking you through a couple of levels, bro. I can't get you into outer space yet.
Yeah, I might have an out of body experience. In my
So there's a piece of chocolate on the date.
okay.
So you gotta. It's one shot, bro. Don't be a bitch.
Yeah, eat the whole thing.
Eat the whole thing.
I bet.
See that chocolate in there?
Far out. That's far out. That is.
Yeah,
That
bro.
is-
Don't be a bitch, bro. It's the
Alright.
infinity snack. It's the man challenge.
All right, so I gotta eat the whole thing.
One
Right,
shot,
let's-
one bite.
Okay. Oh wow. It's a lot of. But it's hard to chew.
It's a journey, bro. It's a journey. You just gotta stay in the moment, keep going. When that chocolate melts, bro.
Wow. ASMR. Wow, that is a very. The texture. You're right. It is very much a slow burner, and it is just a
I'm still going, bro.
yeah. Did you start on level 3 as well?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to let even playing field.
I'm just on the same level with you, bro.
Yeah. Wow. Bro, I'm scared to add any more ingredients.
Bro, straight up, it gets scary, man. Because you gotta one shot it, bro.
Dang.
And it's not the same, like, if you have half of it, it's not the same. Because, like, the chocolate melts too quick.
Yeah.
You know, like, the layering of flavors, they just don't mesh the same.
Yeah. And I don't know if you'd believe this, but with all the voice acting and radio and part-time streaming that I do, it's like I'm pretty sure this is actually my first podcast that I've been invited onto. So
This is your first podcast,
I believe so. Yeah.
bro. Welcome.
I mean, I've done my own, but yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I did one when I was 17, and it was a similar thing. Just invite guests on, and that I think would be interesting. And I think that's the best podcast format. I think if you get the same 2 or 3 people each time, it can definitely become. Because if you think about all the top podcasts in the world, Joe Rogan. I mean, I'm not much of a podcast listener myself, and if I do, it's just maybe 1 or 2 at most. I'm not a connoisseur in the sense that I would listen to 5, 6, 7, 8 different podcasts.
Sure.
But I feel like the best ones are always going to get someone interesting on to, to interview.
100%. How do you find that infinity snack, bro?
It was it works. It's almost like the perfect mold, the perfect blend of, because even with the Go Paleo, as I ate before, I'm not gonna lie about it.
Shout out to Go Paleo.
Go Paleo.
Shout out to Marcus. Go Paleo.
Yeah, because Marcus is his name.
Marcus is the owner of Go Paleo.
Is that his real name? Because that doesn't sound very Vietnamese.
I don't know. I haven't asked.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
His real name's probably Iron Man or some shit.
Right, yeah. As long as he's not annoying.
Gotcha.
I will see myself out. But yeah, man. What direction you want to take this?
Well, we still got one more infinity snack, bro.
This is gonna be a cook ASMR.
I just
move
that mic away from you. You got one more, bro.
Okay.
This is level. What was that level?
Level 3.
3. Probably count this like level 4, maybe level 5.
Okay.
Yeah. This one, bro. There you go, man.
It's getting like a bloody tower of Jenga up in here.
Bro, let me have that. It's gonna be a journey, bro. You ready to get this down?
I think so. I gotta stuff it in, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You gotta like maneuver it.
Bro, it's a man challenge.
Okay.
Bro.
There we
Let's
go.
get it done.
Great content. Wow. It literally is like you're taking a drug.
Bro, no right, man.
And it really can't be considered a snack. Just, it has to have infinity in it because it actually takes time to consume.
Bro, it's the perfect.
It's not the kind of thing you could just 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, unless you're 300 kilos. But first thing I tasted with that one was the mint mixed with it. But yeah, bro, it's definitely like the kernel. 13 different herbs, secret herbs and spices.
Get that might a bit closer. But
Oh yeah, swiggity.
yeah, man. Gosh.
Dang,
It hits you hard, bro.
might leave here in a different weight class.
Bro. Oh, how good was that, man?
Beautiful. No, like it instantly, the chocolate melts into the peanut butter and all of them just move. It's like a lava lamp. If you picture a lava lamp, that's how I would explain the feeling of consuming that. Is that you see all these blobs merge and explode apart from each other, but then they come together and they mold and they move around and
Bro.
that's how it.
It's infinity snack right there, bro.
Yeah, mate. Thanos is jealous.
Yeah, right. Yeah, what would you give that out of 10, bro?
What's my frame of reference? What's 1 and what's 10?
Oh.
Like 1 best thing, of 1 worst thing I've ever had, 10
yeah.
best thing I've ever had.
Yeah, bro.
In terms of a sweet snap, is that the max level?
No, it's not.
Do you have a max level? I feel like that should be given the rating. Unless I literally might transform to.
We've gone pretty far on
plane.
the levels, bro. We've gone pretty far on the
Okay.
levels, but yeah, that's. Bro, probably at least goes to level 10.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah,
At
bro.
least you said at
Yeah,
least.
At least, bro.
How do you even get that in one bite?
Bro, you're talking about. Yeah, it's tough, man. I had a mate, like, he nearly choked. We're like, bro, it's fucking battle, bro. You better come prepared for this shit, man.
Off that, I mean, I'm trying to think of the nicest foods because I'm a real pizza guy. Pizza and spaghetti bolognese. That's
Like,
gorgeous.
think about it.
Lasagnas.
Think about it this way, bro. It's. I'm gonna put this on the market. This is competing with like Ferrero Rocher.
Oh, Ferrero Rochers are pretty good, bro. But I don't feel like I'm going on a journey. A little bit with Ferrero Rocher.
No, you get a moment with Ferrero Rocher.
Yes.
You like a moment.
It is. Yeah, it is short. It is short lived. Yeah.
Mm.
But you got to find a way to make the chocolate, like, not hold it with it. You got to make it all in a nice little wrapped bow because they're super expensive. Ferrero Rochers are so overpriced, and they're my mum's favorite. So I'd always have to, get them for Mother's Day and be like, oh, well, bite the bank. It's her favorite, so got to make it happen. But yeah, man, they are. No, I get it. You definitely have to. I like that it takes time to consume because a lot of people's favorite snacks do. In the someone be like, "Ooh, this was
Someone's
new."
like, bro, this is next level, bro. This is infinity.
Yeah, that's the portal opening to the next dimension. And yeah, so I like that there's a moment to be had with it, and because I was closing my eyes to really engage my taste sense, and yeah, I think I like that it takes time to consume rather than just shoveling them down and not thinking about it. It's not the kind of snack you would consume mindlessly.
No, you can't. It's impossible, bro.
Yeah.
Right,
Your mind opens.
Yeah, you couldn't have
Infinity
that.
brain.
You couldn't have that when driving, bro. You'd be like, yeah, bro. But look, man, I wanted to, you're the guest, and I want to, kind of platform you and just get your story, bro.
Beautiful.
And then got some
level 20s.
got some questions.
Hit me, bro.
Yeah, got some questions, but yeah, just take us through, like, a bit of a summary of your life up to this point on when. So for people that are listening or watching, Chayse is blind.
Shock.
Yeah, Chayse is blind, right?
Stevie Wonder.
So obviously a lot of questions. Maybe you haven't thought about it, but to ask a blind person. But okay, like when you were young, you weren't born blind, correct?
So, to my knowledge, I think so. I was born with congenital cataracts and glaucoma, and cataracts is usually the thing you get when you're about 70 and you've been driving your whole life, and then they remove it I think they can remove it by clearing the lens, or they might remove the lens of your eye entirely. But to my knowledge, they removed the lens at birth to remove the cataracts. And then congenital, meaning you get it from your parent, because my mum is visually impaired, so I got it genetically. And my glaucoma is basically, at least from my experience, has been the pressure in your eye raises, and you have to take eye drops to mitigate the pressure. And if you don't, then that can cause the eye to become very pressured and can lead to more damage, like a detached retina. And then basically it got to I think, my left eye went when I was 7 or 8, around about that time, because at that age I didn't say, oh, my eye is funny or whatever. So that went because the pressures got too high, and then the retina detached, and then by the time they knew about it, it was too late to correct. So then I've only seen through one eye since the age of 7 or 8. And then the right eye was good. I was taking 5 eye drops a day for, most of my life. I think I had my first eye surgery when I was 3 weeks old. And I had contacts very early on. I got my first pair of glasses when I was 7. And then age 14 to 17, the first retinal detachment in my right eye happened at, I believe, age 14. Could have been earlier. And then they put a drain. I'm getting the timeline a little mixed up here, but pretty much the eye drops stopped lowering the pressure. So they put a drain in the eye, which was another way to relieve the pressure without drops and just drain the pressure through the drain. And then that stopped working. So age 14, retina detaches.
Excuse me, what do you mean by a drain?
So they put a literal drain. It's like I don't know how it works.
They put a hole in your eye or something?
It basically, to my knowledge, it's at the top of the eyeball,
okay,
behind the top eyelid. And you could feel, it almost felt like a vein up at the top of your eye, and that would drain. But eventually that stopped working. And from age 14 to 17, they'd do a retinal reattachment surgery, and then with each detachment, they'd reattach. I'd wake up with less vision, and then I think it got to the point where I had 2 surgeries within 6 weeks, and that's the recovery period. So the recovery period from a retinal reattachment surgery is 6 weeks, and I lost so much weight when I was about 15, 16. I was so skinny, and there's a photo of me at my mate's house, and I'm just, so it was just a lot of, wasn't fun. And we can go into my whole life if you want, aside from blindness, but that whole period from kind of 15 to 17 was probably the worst time in my whole life up until that I've ever lived, and I really can't see it being any worse. Unless I have a wife and kids and they get blown up in a bloody nuclear
at 17.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
But that's the only way I could imagine it topping, because I went blind at 17 fully, and then my dad died the year before that at 16, and those are 2 drastically life-altering events in succession with one another in a really short time. So and then at age 15, when I started going blind, I lost all my friends in high school, and I had about 5 to 10 really close friends, and then another 20 acquaintances, but you'd go to their house all the time, and the things we mainly bonded over was football and video games. And when you start losing your vision, those are not as easy to do, especially when everything's new to you. I got my cane in year 11, and I was actually really excited. I was playing with it and thought it was a really cool contraption, but I was still relying on my vision because I had some. But again, lose all your friends at 15, dad dies at 16, lose all your vision at 17. It's my last 3 years of high school were pretty...
Bro, that sounds pretty fucking brutal, bro.
Yeah, it's all perspective, eh?
I was just about to add, wouldn't say first world problems, but...
Nah, but you're right. I'm not starving. I've never had no food to eat. I've never not had a shelter to stay under. It's because particularly my mum and sister, who, they're women, they're more emotional, and they care deeply about me, which is beautiful. But they were quite concerned that I didn't seem to be affected by it. And I think that because my dad had a stroke when I was maybe 13 or 12, and I think that put into perspective. You never really think your parents are going to die when you're at that age. You think they're kind of, maybe some do, but I didn't know. You just think that they'll always be there. And then with the vision, it was, I think with the vision, it was always in the cards that I knew that it was a shaky slope that I was walking with the vision, because I always had an issue with, I always had a visual impairment, but the blindness it was always in the cards for me mentally. I always knew that, this could happen. And I never had, when I was 13, I had good enough vision to drive just on the cusp. But that went pretty quick. So yeah, man. So
fuck, man, that was deep. Just real quick, bro, I'm just gonna double check that the phone is still playing. It's because, we're good.
lit.
This is my first time using an iPhone.
It's been a while.
So yeah, so just double checking. But yeah, man, that's intense, bro. So then you, after that period, so how do you come out of that period? Because you're early 20s now. So you go from 15, 16, 17, which is, you would say, the darkest period of your life.
Up until now. It could get a lot worse. You never know, right?
Sure.
But
yeah,
yes.
up until now.
Yeah.
So then how did you, slowly, like, get out of that to becoming the person you are now? Because just from my personal experience, you'd be being around you, I don't feel any negative vibes or darkness in terms of going through.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, going through some hard shit, because you've
Right.
already gone through that, right? So you're kind of on the other side of that now. You're, I guess, climbing the mountain now.
Yeah, that's how I'd view it, because when you say person you are today, it almost seems like I'm quite established, but I'm still very young, so I still plan on being a lot more than I am. But in terms of recovering from this, I think maybe it just didn't hit me for a while. I think I'm just trying to think back. So I think I was very edgy at that age. I didn't believe in God. I had very little values, and I think I just dug myself into YouTube and just making content. But it was a very isolating time where I'd go to school because I was doing 6 subjects, and I was a bloody smart kid. I was doing very well in high school, year 9 and 10, and then when my vision went, my RTV, which is a resource teacher of vision, basically a person to help you through navigating the educational institution that you attend with a disability, with blindness or visual impairment. And she got me to go down from 6 subjects to maybe 4 or 3, and eventually around year 13 or maybe even year 12 it became 1. And there was just no point. I felt very pointless going to school, because you'd go to school and you'd be embarrassed because you'd be in the learning support center. So that's where all the kids with learning difficulties go. And socially I was fine, right? But you're around all these kids of different ages that are varying levels of intellectual capability. And yeah, I would just go to school and sleep and eat and watch videos and go home. And it was, yeah, I really didn't like the last few years of school. So in terms of coming out of that, yeah, I think I just went into YouTube, and I think I was probably very angry. I remember resenting sighted people when I went blind, but then I had an epiphany and thought about my ears and said, Chayse, you have perfect hearing and you take it for granted. So don't get angry at sighted people for taking their eyes for granted, because you do it with your ears. And then so I think even just that, I think my whole thought process with my dad dying and my blindness and losing my friends, it was all, I think I internalized it a lot, but I think I have a good relationship with myself that I can process what I need to in a healthy way, but in my own head, which doesn't sound healthy, but I think God blessed me with intellect. And I'm not saying I'm a genius or super smarter than anyone else, but I just think I'm very content with the knowledge that I possess and the wisdom that I possess through all these different experiences. Like I'm very close with my sister, and my mum's had crazy mental illness, and that teaches you to be self-aware. And I think self-awareness is a very powerful quality to have as a person. So I think, and again, even that's relative because everyone has blind spots, right? But yeah, I think just a lot of reflecting and talking to myself, which sounds crazy, but I think when you go blind from someone who played football a lot and played video games and video edited, they were all my favorite things, to then not being able to do any of those things, you have a lot of time to think to yourself. And then when you have a lot of time to think, you're processing, or maybe you're not, again. So I think it was just a very drifty time for me. I think it was very just seeing where it
Drifty,
goes.
you mean by like cloudy, that things like there was no clarity in what was going to happen?
Yeah, just floating through life at the point where, not that you're super depressed or anything, but like that you're just coasting to see where it goes, or waiting for, because for me it was waiting to leave high school because that was the worst. And then I went to this blind school, which I would not recommend to anyone because it was very pandered to the lowest common denominator, and some blind people with intellectual disabilities went there. I think it's very helpful for them, but to put all different kinds of blind people, some at very normal or advanced levels of learning capabilities, with others who really struggled to learn, even for say a primary school kid, it's not a recipe that works in the kitchen. So
maybe they just...
But I met Moretta and I found God and I made a good friend in William. So there were good things that came out of it. So then 2023 was used to learn everything I thought I would do at that blind school. So I learned how to cook. I learned how to navigate with my cane. I learned how to use my computer again. I learned how to use my phone again. It was just a year of self-development through 2023 because I knew that in 2024 I wanted to move to Auckland and start a life that I didn't want to waste.
So was the blind school in Taranaki?
No,
it was in Auckland, right?
Yeah. So I boarded there.
Sure, but then again, like, I mean, I guess in terms of then maybe they just didn't have the resources or the infrastructure to cater to different levels of intellectual capacities for blind people.
I think, well, they get a lot of funding, and I think even if they didn't, they could have separated the learning, and it was very heavily staffed and heavily watched, and you were treated like a little kid, even though everyone was 18 plus, some even 20, 21. Well, 20 because 21 was the cutoff, but yeah, very could have been. Everyone agreed near the end that it could have been done better.
Sure.
Because in the past they weren't supervised, they didn't have staff, so it was a realistic living environment that encouraged independence. But no, it was very heavily monitored, and there were bedtimes, and there was like it just it was
not real world kind of things.
Yeah, exactly. Like no one.
And just going back to what you were saying, where things got kind of mucky or cloudy. Would you say that, like, in a summary, you kind of lost your identity because you couldn't, like, all the stuff you invested in, like video editing, playing soccer and playing video games, that became part of who you were, and then you lose this ability to do those things? Do you kind of just feel like you lost your identity and who you were as a person? You get to kind of like, what the fuck am I now? Like, who am I now?
That's a good question. I think I don't think anyone knows who they are at that age, because I think you go through so many different periods of change and new experiences that you're kind of trying a lot of things. But I think I was lucky that I found something. I mean, I found football because of my brother. Yeah, that's why I'm a Man United fan, which is unfortunate now, but we won't touch on that. But I guess in a way, but again, now I play with a blind football now, it's which you can hear, and I've taught myself to audio edit, and I'm still making videos. So I think I took the hit of not being able to do these things I enjoyed, but then taught myself how to do them in a way that I could without my eyesight. So I guess a bit of both, but I also think that I got way more into voice acting and audio and sounds and impressions, because I was into impressions around 15, 14. I mean, I was always making weird noises as a child, so I think I've always been into that. So I don't know if I lost myself, but I think these experiences pushed my identity in a different direction that wouldn't have been accessed if I kept my vision.
Fair enough, bro. That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything you want to add on to the summary of your life, or is there anything you want to touch on from, when you were young to where you are now, before we move into the next chapter of this podcast?
I think that's the long and short of it. I mean, I think maybe we'd save a full origin story for
another episode.
Yeah,
I've got more time.
Then that would go fully into. But I think I've touched on all the main events, the key points of
main chapters.
My childhood. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got some questions here, bro. That
shoot.
A lot of these questions, it's people that see. Normal people in general wouldn't really think about until they meet a blind person or hang out with a blind person. So let's have a look. Yeah, bro, this is actually shout out to the wife, because this is one that she brought up to my attention was, bro, how do you choose your clothing and how do you know what you're wearing?
This is a very
How do you do that?
This is a very funny question because of what I've done recently. So I do have an app called Be My Eyes, and when that was first released, to my knowledge, I don't know the history of it, but their whole business model was you can basically FaceTime a complete stranger that they volunteer. When you download the app, you can choose to be someone who needs assistance or be someone who volunteers to help those people who need assistance. And you would FaceTime a stranger and they would tell you what you're looking at. But recently, with the boom of AI that started around with ChatGPT in 2022-ish, they have Be My AI. So you can take a photo of something and it will describe it in grim detail and you can ask it questions. So you can say, take a photo of your shirt, take a photo of your outfit and say, describe this outfit. What color is this? What color is that? Blah, blah, blah. And it will tell you. But what I've done recently, the first thing that started was socks. So depending on who you are, most people will have grey socks, white socks, black socks. Maybe you'll have bloody rainbow socks, red socks, whatever, different colours. So the first thing I did was donate all my socks and buy only black socks, all different pairs of just black socks, because then I won't wear odd socks ever, because that started happening. And then recently, literally last week, I put all of the shirts that don't have any value and had my girlfriend donate them, and with the Man United shirts or shirts that had some value, I would sell them to pay for these. But I just bought 10 black shirts, black t-shirts, 10 black t-shirts from the same place for so now I just have I have long sleeve shirts, but in terms of my everyday shirt, it's just the exact same plain black t-shirt. So and then you can obviously tell by feeling as well. You can tell, I mean, with this I can feel how it's been embroidered on with my hands, and different jeans, they have different engravings or stitches. You can use stitches to feel, and yeah.
Do you know what's on your shirt right now?
Yeah, it's some anime eyes, I think.
Yeah,
they've got some Japanese lettering or whatever.
Do the eyes work?
I can't disclose that, unfortunately. I think that's, I've got to deal with the US government about that.
True.
Maybe in another episode, probably. But might have to have you whacked now for asking
such
a question.
Bro, that's pretty intense, man. Hey, never ever take for granted just putting on your clothes ever again after that. Man, that's intense. Actually, it's kind of, not similar, but, it is similar. I heard that Barack Obama is, I don't know about now, but when he was president, everything was the same every day because he wanted to minimize the amount of decisions he has to make in a day.
It's like those people that bloody have one ice cream flavor that they eat for the rest of their life. Just no change, saves them maybe a day in total in their life.
Bro, that's a bit different, bro. I think you got to try all the ice cream flavors.
Yeah.
If you're a president, I understand. You want to minimize your... It's like you got to...
Well, they only wear suits, I mean.
True.
But yeah, so that's actually been very helpful because it's easy, because I have black shoes, because I only really believe in having one pair of shoes. I don't, but I think I will stick to that for my life, because I think some people have 40, 100 pairs of shoes and they only stick to maybe 1 to 3 pairs of them in their life. So it ends up just being a waste of money. And my shoes are black, the ones that I wear all the time. The ones I'm wearing right now, well, aren't because I'm getting them cleaned, but no, they're black, so it works with the black shirts, and then you can just wear shorts or jeans or everything kind of. So that just helps with the style. So that's been a very recent change, but I think it's quite wise.
Okay, all right. That's very indeed. I had no idea where that answer was gonna go, but now we know. Yeah. So, bro, how do you pee? Like, as a man, right? Because you gotta sit down, like, because you can't, you can't aim. Do you have an app that tells you, like,
bro,
hey,
take
this
a picture
is,
of my meat, and it calculates the angle based on the photo,
just
and the
put
pressure I must use to
Yeah.
exert my. No, so I sit down. It's quite embarrassing for some men to do that. They're like, oh no, bro, I've got to stand up and conquer the porcelain throne. I've got to claim that toilet. I've got to stand up and look over it. I sit down. I think all blind men will sit down to pee. I don't have any shame in admitting that. I just think it's the respectful thing to do if you live with other people, because if your ego, or your masculinity is so fragile that you have to stand as a blind man and you will never admit to sitting. I sit down to pee. It just makes it easier. But
would you say, like, a blind man's dream would to have like a toilet where you walk into the room and then it's just 360 urinals around you, so you can just pee wherever you want.
Levels.
Just like,
I can't speak for myself I mean, not for me, but I'm sure there's a blind person out there that would be heaven for them.
If you had the money to do that, would you do that?
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't. No, I'm quite content with normal toilets. Thank you.
Okay, all right, bro. Sweet. Okay, at least we know the answer to that.
Yeah, that was definitely a you question.
Yeah. Bro, I had to know, bro. Had to know.
Yeah.
How do you cook, bro? How do you cook? You're blind.
Okay. Yes, I am.
How do you cook?
So this has been an interesting thing, and it's kind of a long process, I suppose. But I use, in terms of just general navigating in a kitchen, when I'm cooking, I will rely on touch. So obviously you can feel the tenderness of the meat. Smell. I can usually smell when my meat is cooked, because I'm not cooking at the moment at my current place I'm living. I'm being cooked for, but back last year I cooked for myself every single night, and that was the year that I taught myself to cook, and I actually really missed my cooking because it was pretty bang. I learned new recipes like chicken fettuccine, and I also learned the things I grew up with, like spag bowl and tortillas and stuff like that. So, oh man, give me another infinity nuke.
Bro, we just ate, man. We just ate.
Yeah. But so I'll use something like a wooden spoon, or just a butter knife or a fork, or just something with a extension of my hand to figure out where things are. So say the frying pan, I'll use that to know where it is without, you don't want to put your very sensitive blind person fingers on a frying pan while it's cooking on the stove, because that will not end well for you. So yeah, no, I use say a wooden spoon to figure out where it is, and it's just very tactile, and you use your smell, you use your... I don't really taste the food before it's cooked. I usually just, I'll prod the meat with it, because sighted people will use colour. They'll say like, oh, it's brown, it's cooked, or it's golden brown or whatever. But, and again, you could use Be My Eyes for that, but again, it discourages things that may affect your health, because then they're liable legally, So, and like navigation as well. They're not going to say, "Is a car coming?" and then walk into traffic.
Is it vegan? Is the app vegan?
I mean, maybe, man. Maybe they hate
discourages golden brown meat.
Yeah. Well, I'll be like, oh, as an AI, I can't give an opinion on a Sikh medical professional, blah, 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 So.
True.
But yeah, so it's very, very tactile, very touch based, and smell. And I think since I've lived sighted, I can imagine what things look like. I know what a frying pan looks like. I know what meat looks like. Bag, onion smashers, knives, chopping boards, etc. So yeah, it's just being very aware. I don't like cooking with other people at all, because any blind person will tell you, and I'm speaking audaciously on every blind person on earth, fully blind, or even visually impaired, I'd say, they don't like it when people move their things. They are very aware of where they leave things so that they can go back to them, and that's the same in the kitchen. I know where the knife is, I know where the onion smasher is, I know where the chopping board is, I know where the frying pan is, I know where the spices are, I know where the cheese is, I know where the meat is, Like, I make mental notes of where I leave everything, so that, because cooking's a time thing. You don't want to overcook the meat, you don't want to undercook the meat, you need to be aware of where things are. So I definitely cook alone, but to answer your question, it's basically smell and touch, and then I use different utensils or equipment as an extension of my hand, so I don't burn myself, to feel where things are that shouldn't be felt with fingers in the kitchen.
Okay, there we go. It's another reason not to take cooking for granted, because it's a lot of effort, man. Mental maps and
yeah.
All right, so I think you've told me about this one before, but just for people that have no idea, like, how do you use your phone as a blind person?
This one's easy. So if you have an iPhone or any Apple device, you can just ask Siri, if you have that enabled, to turn on voiceover, and then that is the screen reader that you use. And I mean, if you just that's me dragging my finger around the screen, and then
What kind of phone you got?
I have an iPhone. So
you have an iPhone. There we go.
So they all have different ones. So Android has TalkBack. I haven't used that because blind people tend to favor iPhones because their UI, their accessibility is just kind of unbeaten. And for my computer, I use NVDA, so non-visual desktop access. So that's a screen reader for the computer. Basically, just reads what's on your screen. A lot of it for a computer, it's very much keyboard navigation. But yeah, a phone, it just tells you exactly what's on your screen, what is being read, and you can scan by characters and words. And yeah, it's I picked it up in like a weekend. But then obviously, as you use it more, you learn more and more. So yeah. It's a pretty simple one. VoiceOver is pretty easy
AI.
to pick up.
Technology.
Yeah, not so much AI. I think like Apple definitely would need that because they want everyone to use their product, right? So they're going to make it that if they really invest in accessibility, then people that do have a disability will flock to their product because it's the best in that field. So I think Apple kind of holds the distinction for most accessible in phone for blind people. But again, I haven't used an Android, so it could just be my ignorance in that area. But for me, it works pretty well.
Question answered. Easy peasy.
Easy peasy.
Cool, bro. So let's have a look what I got here. Okay, well, I think I know the answer to this, but I'll ask it anyway. How do you know if your clothes are dirty or need to be washed?
I smell them.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it, bro. I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. Grocery shopping. How does that work?
So I don't actually, again, that is something with my current flat agreement that is done. But with my mum, she would do online. And that's what I'm going to do when I live alone, or with my partner. That will be just order online. And then, you can use a screen reader and it'll read out. You can read about the products, what it's got in it. I mean, whatever information they have on the website for different products, the quantity, the ingredients, the price, the name, the brand, etc. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Cool. Now, so this next one, I know the answer to this mostly because I used to be a personal trainer. But yeah, how do you? First of all, you go to the gym, you do jiu-jitsu. You're talking about you did soccer with a special kind of ball. Like, how do you go about doing these activities?
So, I believe I have one life currently. I mean, I used to be strongly atheist, and now I'm strongly Christian. So, I mean, if you can even say strongly Christian, what does that mean, right? That's a whole discussion. But under my current set of beliefs, I believe I have one life. So it is very easy to fall into and blind people do tend to fall into that woke community where they are told that they are a victim, that your life is harder than the rest, which you could make an argument for, but again, you live in a first world country where the government will give you money because you can't work. If you are blind in dozens of other countries in the world, tough luck, buddy. You're gonna die. Like, make money as a blind person or have people to care for you, or you will die. But I live in New Zealand, so you can get the benefit. So there is funding available in Auckland particularly that is a reason for moving, so they can help fund transport and recreational activities. So just getting there. And then I got to shout out my coach, Clinton Terry. He is the blind grappler. He's got a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I think one of the only ones in the world, not the only one, well, he's the only black belt blind person in New Zealand in jiu-jitsu, to my knowledge. And he's the reason I started jiu-jitsu, because he proved that it could be done, and it's a very tactile sport, because it's tactually reactive. When it comes to boxing, someone throws a hook or a jab, you visually react to it by dodging or blocking. In jiu-jitsu, you feel their movements. Obviously, you can visually react as well, but it's in certain aspects of jiu-jitsu, it is an even playing field if you are blind or sighted. So it's one of the best martial arts for blind people. So he is the reason that I do that. But I also want to be able to protect myself and my family and have more confidence in my ability to do that. So that's the reason I do jiu-jitsu. And then gymming, I just wanted to be shredded. I wanted to have the knowledge of what can be achieved with your physique, and thanks to you, I mean, you taught me everything I know in that area. So and then I just made a mental map of the gym by walking with you. You take me to different machines, and then I'd make a note of where it is, and then you go a place long enough. I mean, even at my house that I spent most of my childhood in, I never used my cane around the house, because you just know, because you've been there, you've interacted with it so much. So so I guess that answers it. And then do music lessons, which is nice as well. I just want to have a good foundation of things, and I think they're all healthy for me as well. So I plan on doing more, but a job is the next thing, because that's the
I gotta add, bro, like when I first met you at Anytime Fitness, it was really inspirational, and a real reality check, and I wouldn't say being humbling experience, but also I'll repeat that again, a reality check for me to be a bit more grateful about my situation.
Sure.
Because I think we've gone over this mini conversation many times, that you're the only blind person I know that goes to the gym.
Right. And we've mentioned this on the stream Saturday, weekly hustle chat, because I say all the time that made me feel good and bad, because it's sad that other blind people aren't doing that, because maybe they're too scared. And again, if you're told you're a victim, it's like, you're blind, you should have anxiety. Like, even if I was genuinely diagnosed, I would never admit that I have anxiety or anything, because I just think you're literally limiting yourself with negative self-talk. You are putting up barriers in your own life. So something like that, maybe other blind people work out at home. That is a viable option. But I just think if you want to unlock, unless you're really rich and you have a home gym, I think the best way to unlock your peak physique is to have a gym membership and go regularly. So,
and to add to that as well. Oh, dude, I just lost my train of thought.
That's right. Gym. Blind person. Reality check.
Oh, anxiety. To add to what we were talking about, anxiety. Anxiety is just a signal that something you're doing needs to be changed, or something's wrong, and you need to make a change. Anxiety is there because it could be you're not exercising enough, you're not eating the right food, you're not getting enough sleep, you could be having too much alcohol, whatever it is, or relationships could be going wrong. Anxiety is just the signal, like, hey, you're going down the wrong path. And if you keep going down that same path, the anxiety is just gonna, the signal is just gonna get stronger and stronger. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it, bro. Just wanted to add that on there. But yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely really inspirational. Like, again, you can't really complain, especially if you're living, in a Western nation like New Zealand, Australia, US, UK. I think most, I saw my viewership the other day, and most of them is from US. There's no reason to complain if a blind dude is going to the gym and getting more workouts than you and he needs to make mental maps of every places where you go. There's no excuse,
and that's funny you say that, because that's exactly what someone said to me at the gym a couple of days ago. They just said, this Māori guy was like, oh bro, seeing you come into the gym it really motivates me because I don't have an excuse. And again, some blind people get really pissed off when you say that you're an inspiration. Because, again, realistically, we're just living our lives. We're not trying to be something we're not. We're not trying to... I'm not one of these people, I will say. I'm not. It's not like, yeah, tell me I'm an inspiration. It's not. It's just a... I wouldn't say it's a compliment or an insult. It's just kind of someone else's view of me. So I just acknowledge that. It doesn't make me feel really good. It doesn't make me feel bad. But yeah, some blind people really don't like it. Because at the end of the day, they're living their life. And they're not trying to be a symbol of anything, to my knowledge.
They're not trying to be the blind David Goggins.
Yeah, exactly. They're just, I mean, I'm sure some people are, but for me, I'm not trying to, I don't go to the gym to be like, wow, look at me do it. See, it can be done. I just do it because it's good for me, right? Like, but, if it genuinely motivates other people to do better or to better their own lives, then 100%, I'll happily take that title. I'll happily be that for them.
Well, it's just a slap in the face to excuses like, especially intangible excuses like, oh, I don't feel like it, or,
right.
Because if it's tangible, like, I mean, even if you've broken your leg, like, you can still get to the gym. I've seen people with broken legs.
One-legged leg press.
Yeah, or, just upper body or doing something, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no excuse, and yeah, you're living proof of that, bro. Anything to add on before we move on to the next question?
Nah, shoot it, bro. Time efficiency.
Next one's going to be quick. Yeah, we got probably about like another 30 minutes max.
Oh, sick.
So we're doing well on time.
Oh, I bet.
Quick one. Do you use cash?
No.
Just card every time?
Yeah. I probably shouldn't, because conspiracy, you could talk about the banks not have, obviously they don't actually have all the money that appears digitally in your bank, but no, there is an app that I have that can tell me the note. So if I hold up a $5 note to the camera, it'll say 5. If I hold up 20, 50, 50, etc. So that is helpful. So you could do that. But also with blind people, if you have different notes in your wallet, say you've got 2 20s and a 50, you could fold one of the corners down on the 50, so you can feel the corners and then know that that's a 50 because you can feel the fold in it. So little things like that. Again, if you can make a tactual distinction between, and that can be done for clothing, that can be done for documents, so birth certificates or whatever else. That can be, so it's just feeling a lot of the time.
Is that why the 20-cent coin is shaped differently?
Most likely, yeah. I mean, that would might be not the only reason, but yeah, you could feel. I mean, you have the 10-cent coin. I mean, I haven't felt these in
it's
a long
smaller,
time. But
yeah.
10-cent coin is tiny, and it's almost like a rougher material, and then the 20-cent coin is smoother, but you can still feel the engraving on it, and it's a bit bigger. Then the 50-cent coin is very flat, but very much bigger, so you can feel, and it's very thin. And then the dollar coin is thicker, back to almost that 10-cent coin material, but it's smaller and it's thicker, so you always know it's a dollar. And then a $2 coin is then bigger than that, but the same thickness of the dollar coin. So
that is a perfect description of New Zealand's coins.
And then you go into the notes, so 5, and then they're different sizes too.
I just had a question pop up in my head when you're talking about this AI reader, you take a photo of something.
Yeah.
Let's just say, hold on, just adjust that mic there. Let's just say you're a blind single man,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're out on the town. You're out in the
I know
town.
where
You're
this is going.
single to mingle,
Mm.
mingle to single. Okay,
Pringle.
and you just happen to have a Pringle, but you brush your teeth, so you're good.
Mm.
You're out in the town, and you're talking to a girl.
Hold on, babes. Let me check.
Is there an app that can video or take a photo of a girl and let you know
If she's clapped. Oh.
yeah, this girl you're talking to, she's a 6 out of 10.
So, Be My AI, which I did mention earlier, it will describe face. It will describe anything. I mean, not anything. You can, if you take a picture of like your meat or like an inappropriate photo, it won't say it. It'll be like, oh, no, an error occurred or whatever. But with
Your meat, you're talking about beef or chicken?
no, yeah, right, yeah, beef chicken.
Yeah, beef or chicken. Yeah.
So, vegan, of course, vegan.
Vegan.
So, again, this happens with ChatGPT and many other artificial intelligences currently. They try not to have an opinion, whether that be politically or emotionally. They're just like, I aim to offer the best and most accurate experience and information that I can. You know, the most PR trained answer, so I won't have an opinion. So if you took a photo of a woman's face, you could say describe it in crazy detail, and it will talk about the thickness of her lips, her eye color, her skin tone, her cheekbones, her hair length, her hair color, her eyebrow shape, etc., forehead length, forehead. So,
Wow.
So again, you can ask it different things, but if I say, "Is this girl a 10?" it will probably not say, "Yes, she's a 10," or "Nah, mate, she's a 3." So, but that's the beauty of being blind, is that, I mean, maybe some really rich, high status blind people want a trophy wife, but again, I mean, if you're not into bigger girls, you can just. My mum told me about this guy who was blind, who would feel their wrists. So he'd shake their hand and then wrap his index and thumb around their wrist to get the thickness of their wrist, and that would be a good indicator of if they were
Isn't
fat
that
or
what
not.
Ray Charles did, bro?
He might, maybe. I mean, he was an interesting guy, because yeah, some blind people really lean into that and get a bit touchy.
Like touch faces and stuff. Eh?
Yeah, nah.
I saw his movie. He like touch faces.
Well, not many blind people. Like, I don't know any blind people that touch faces. That's very much a Hollywood thing, but I'm sure some do. But yeah, so I don't know if it would say if you're a 1 or a 10, but you could say, because I've asked it, are they attractive? And then it would say, well, I'm an AI, I can't give an opinion on attractiveness. However, they have some qualities in their facial structure or that may be considered attractive, like high cheekbones or a pronounced jawline or whatever else. So again, yeah, it won't say if they're a 1 or a 10, but I can give you a pretty accurate description. But again, even if you describe someone really in detail, 1 million people fit that description. Because if I said, Jason, describe yourself right now, you'd probably describe your skin tone, your eye color, eyebrow thickness. No, but most people just go, oh, I'm white, I have blue eyes and brown hair. And it's like, okay, well, 100, 200, 500 million people fit that description.
Yeah.
So
it's like you got to see, right?
Yeah, like
you gotta see.
It's like dreams. Our brains can't create a whole brand new face because there are so many things to.
Or we can't think of another color.
Yeah, exactly. Like how someone looks is very specific, and
and then
goes past words.
also I just thought about this. I was like, well, what if her face is not that attractive, but she's got a great body on her?
That's why you hug them, man.
Yeah, that's it. He's got it. Yo, trick question. The boy got it. He knows.
Exactly.
He knows.
There's things, man.
Hey, you blind. You gotta hug.
You got
You gotta
systems
hug.
Got systems in place.
Yo, that's gold right there, man. That's why you hug. That's why hugs are important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, that's the best answer yet, man.
Yeah, man.
Let's have a look at some of these questions. You got anything to add on to that while I'm looking at my notes?
I can't. Yeah, I'm not one to run through women, and not in that way, but on dates, I haven't been the player type. I've been in a relationship for 2 years, so it's again, I haven't really vetted in that way, but even just on a personal note, regardless of blindness, I had a criteria of things to, because I think it's good for men particularly to have a criteria, because if you're desperate, you let your standards slip. If no girl wants you, you will go for the lowest common denominator. And I think it's important to write lists of traits, whether that be physically, again, in my case, blind, it's not really important, but you want mental, you want, do they have goals? Are they super driven? Are they traditional? What's their culture? What's their, I mean, many different, you can have different superficial things like height or voice or face or body type, whatever, but I think you definitely need a criteria to vet your potential partner for all people, even if you're not blind. So
is hugging number one on the list?
like if I'm vetting, like, yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell, like, some girls have a fat voice, I suppose. I guess that probably goes for both, but you can say, like, you can tell, I mean, maybe just obviously sighted people can see, but you sound clogged. If you're excessively overweight, you get this sound in your voice where there's a bit more fat. There's a bit more thickness that it's going through that you can hear. Like, there's just a bit more clog.
Okay, so what does an attractive person sound like? What's the distinctive sound of an attractive person?
I don't think you can. I think obviously if you're just an average weight, or I mean, some voices are so intricate, and this is something I love about sound. And I live in front of microphones. I'm really into radio. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm really into radio, podcasts, streaming, bloody voice acting, comment, like anything voice. Blindness has only amplified my passion for that. So and I do impressions all the time. Like, I'm always impersonating people. And
because it would be deceptive if you, like Mike Tyson in his prime, that you thought he was some kind of
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that he was like, this guy sounds small, and then you just get smacked.
Exactly, because the voice does not at all represent the face.
How jacked he is, and how many knockouts he's had in his career.
Not at all. Like, I mean, yeah, some people's face shape does make up their voice. Maybe they have a speech impediment, or they talk out the side of their mouth, like Peter Griffin. You know, he talks out the side of his mouth, which obviously is not a real person, but there are reasons that some people will sound a certain way. Like, maybe the shape of their mouth, their face shape, maybe they, all different things. But voices are so intricate. You got the tone, you got inflections, you got the accent, you got the volume, the projection. You got so many different things that make up a voice. So even you with your podcasts that they can check out on this channel, your voice has changed just from your confidence. So the level of your confidence impacted your voice. Because in the podcast that I've seen of you, back in 2021, you talk like this, really soft-spoken, man. Yeah, hi, I'm Jason. And now, bro, you're like this, bro. Much more vocalized. You extend, like there's more oomph. There's more energy behind your words.
More virality.
Yeah, you have more authority when you speak, because you're projecting what you're saying. You're speaking with meaning rather than just I am hi.
Got more infinity in that
exactly.
voice. More infinity.
More infinity snacks. Absolutely.
That's it, bro. More infinity.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a good question. This is a good question. When you meet people or go to places, do you have like a imaginary picture in your mind of what the person looks like or what the place looks like?
I think that's something that has slowed down a lot as I've been blinder for longer. I think when I went blind initially, I did that all the time, but I don't really think about what people look like now at all. I don't really care about that anymore. I think in the past, especially when I was a lot younger with particularly women, I'd be like, oh, her voice is nice. And because again, when you're blind, the voice becomes the face for attraction. Because obviously they can smell, their breath can stink, or they have a really mud personality. But I mean, in terms of a superficial sense, the voice is the oh, that's something that catches your attention, just like a face would. And obviously smell's super important to blind people as well. But yeah, no, not anymore. I think more so I do imagine the environment more than say the color of the walls or the color of the tables, but they're always bland. So I'll say, oh, this seems like a white desk or a brown desk, and they'll be like, oh no, it's actually red or green. So tends to, my brain tends to go towards the most bland, average looking description that I could imagine for the current environment that I'm in. But yeah,
So
I think
how do you, like, for example, like how, like this, because me mentally, I would like, this is just my, I guess my ignorance or my perception of how it would be like if I was blind.
sure.
Would be like, oh, I'd have to kind of, like guess who, like have like cards of people in my mind to like separate the identities. So like when when I used to train you at the gym, or when we met up today, when you're like, oh, I'm gonna see Jason today, what's the, because you've never seen me.
No.
Like how do you picture the story of what's gonna happen? How do you perceive that?
How do I perceive the story of what's going to happen?
Yeah, how do you perceive, like, because I'm able to see it, visually. Like I'm driving to your house, I park up, like how do you, like, is there like a movie running in your head of what's going on, or you
gotta stay present, bro.
Or you're just
gotta stay present. I don't imagine where it would go. I was excited to do it, but I was curious to see your setup. But I don't think about it visually. I suppose it's just mentally. I just say to myself, I'm looking forward to this. This will be fun. It'll be interesting to see X, Y, and Z. So yeah, no, I don't think in what images will I see in the future when I do this thing I want to do. It's more, I wonder how this will feel. I wonder how this will be. I wonder how this experience will go.
So just living through the senses that you have.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
But even then, I'm not saying like, oh, I wonder how Jason will sound today.
Yeah.
I wonder how the environment that I will inhabit will be sounding, or will be what the temperature will be. Again, I'm not taking in that. It's just like, I wonder how this experience will be. It's more, okay. I wonder how this will go. It's I don't really see it as a sense being attached to that. More just
okay.
How it'll go.
I gotcha.
Yeah. How many questions did you write?
Oh, actually, this is probably
I'm flattered.
Yeah. So this is another one. It's a good one. Like since you're blind, do you have a deeper sense of like emotional awareness? Like, for example, say if you were talking to someone or with a group of people, could you sense when someone's smiling? Could you sense when someone's frowning? Can you sense these things?
You can hear it. So if I get you to close your eyes right now,
yeah,
and then I will start talking to you, and you can hear me right now, and now I'm talking to you like this, Jason. Am I smiling?
Yeah, that's a smiley voice.
Yes, exactly right. So you can hear that. But if I'm talking to you like this now, Jason. Hi, Jason.
Yeah, frowny voice.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not so much I'm in tune with everyone's emotions that I'm around. It's more, you can hear it. And even if you're around someone that I've had it with you when you're on when you're on the stream Saturday, I can tell if you aren't fully energized. I can tell what kind of mood or state of mind that you're in at that time based on how you're acting, and anyone can do that. I mean, obviously you have to have some kind of emotional awareness to pick up on that. If you don't care about other people at all, or you don't have any interest in how the people around you are feeling, then you're not going to pick up on that. But I wouldn't say it's a uniquely blind thing. I think it's just, I'd say you would pick up on it more, not due to emotions, but just due to hearing. Because hearing, if you think of your brain as being a steering wheel to control your whole life, when the eyes are taken out of the equation, the ears take the they grab the steering wheel.
Yeah, when I closed my eyes and heard you talk, it was just kind of like, oh, now I have to tune into the nuances of the voice more than what I would have.
Yeah, and that helps with impressions because yes, like I'll impersonate people all the time, just in my spare time, because if I spend enough time with someone, I can really pick up the nuances of their voice and how they speak. So that's fun.
Got it. Yeah, bro. I'm just looking. That's pretty much everything, man. Yeah, that's pretty much.
Well, I'm glad we got through all of them, because that was I think I'm glad.
I mean, we could. This one here. What's what's something that's challenge? Oh, this could be pretty much everything, but I mean, what's the most challenging thing for you as a blind person, which is made for everyday people?
Yeah, I think there's like a humorous answer, and then there's a real answer. I guess the real answer is, I'd say, just general navigation. Employment as well is not fun, because there are more opportunities now. In the past, you just get thrown in an asylum, told not to breed, and then you were a massage therapist, or you picked fruit off a tree and put it in a bag. Like, it was very limited employment wise. But so there are more opportunities now, but obviously easy jobs that most people do as a teenager, say working at McDonald's or driving Uber or working at Pizza Hut or whatever else, they're not really on the cards for blind people. So but just general navigation. So Kane just walking around the street and navigating, I think, is the biggest change that happens. And I'm lucky to be sighted, because I know how streets look. I can imagine a footpath and grass on the sides of it. Like, so people that are born blind, they're really good at Braille, because that's how they've never not read or written in that format.
Braille is reading off your fingers, correct?
Yeah, so it's reading and writing. It's basically a language developed by Louis Braille in late 1800s, I believe, in France.
Was he born blind?
No, he went blind from an accident. I think something stabbed him in the eye or something. But he then created that language himself. So
doesn't sound like an accident, bro.
That's some pretty Sigma male energy. If it's just created, he's like, oh, I'm blind, may as well create a language for blind people, and that's what he did, and it's still used today. But again, I think it still has a place, still very useful, particularly with reading speeches or reading scripts, or even they have it in elevators to tell you what floor you're on. But again, they also have automated voices now. So I believe there is, because I don't read Braille because I went blind at 17. So it's like learning a language. It's really easy when you're a kid, but as you get older, the harder it is. So it's, with that, I can type out the alphabet on a Brailler in uncontracted, because there's uncontracted Braille, which is just typing out letters like you would on a keyboard. But then there's contracted, where a letter will mean a word, and then a certain combination of letters will mean a suffix or a prefix to a word, and and then you got to memorize all of those, and so it's a long process. I don't think it's useless to learn, but I don't think blind people are as dependent on it as they used to be.
That sounds like Chinese, bro.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty complicated.
Yeah, well, they've got Braille in different languages too. You could learn Arabic Braille or Chinese Braille.
Damn. Bro, this is a question I've just thought about now. So, when you lost your sight, or even now, let's say even right now, what's there's definitely, like, as a when you look at a mountain peak, or you get to the top of a hill, or like, for example, this morning I went for a run, and at the end of it, I like to just walk and look at the stars.
Right.
What's the, I guess, the indulgence, or the sightseeing, or what is the thing you miss the most that you could see again? How about this? If you could see for a day again, what would be like the 5 things that you'll be like, oh, I need to see this again before I go blind again tomorrow?
This may sound creepy.
What are the top 5 things?
But the one thing that comes to my mind when I get asked that question, which, great question, very few times that actually comes up. It's usually like, do your other senses get better? How do you dress yourself? Oh, how do you use your phone? You know, which aren't bad questions, but, you know, there are questions that are more common than others. But to say, this may sound creepy because one is just women. Like,
yeah.
Like women,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but like women, when they truly embrace, like when women embrace
My
their
guy.
femininity, my man.
My guy.
Like when women embrace their femininity, they've got the long hair, they're in shape, they do their makeup.
Real talk right
or,
here.
or
It's
maybe
real
not,
talk.
maybe they don't do the makeup. You know, we embrace natural beauty. In fact, you know, makeup could be quite damaging to some. But when they're feeling themselves, they're in their favorite outfit, they got the long hair, the eyelashes done, whatever else. Like, if they really take care of themselves and embrace what it means to be a woman, like, they are beautiful creatures, and like, to look at them, it's like, wow.
It's real talk right here.
It's just like, whoa,
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean, bro? Like, you see an attractive woman, it's like, again, you're married, but when you saw your wife, you'd have been like, whoa, look at that dime. Like, so, and again, there's the front and the back, right? So, like,
There's all the angles, bro.
exactly. So, I just think, you know, that is something and I'm not talking like, you know, porn or anything. I'm so against that, and it's super damaging. Like, I'm talking just on the street, in real life. You just see a beautiful woman, you make the eye contact, you see the smile, you see like the little things, and so that would definitely be near the top of my list, because I haven't seen my girlfriend, you know what I mean? I don't know what she looks like, and obviously she can describe it, but I can't see, and I've never seen her, and I'm hoping that I can see my children one day. And there's Neuralink as well, which is a whole nother thing. But what else?
That, honest, straight up, I'm not gonna lie, but that would have been, that's the number one thing that came to my head. Was like,
Yeah.
man, like,
Because again, I don't want to get like vulgar with it, but like, I've never seen, when I've, you know, done the deed with my girlfriend, like, I've never seen that with my eyes. And when it comes to sexual processing, men are very visual,
extremely visual.
and
Yeah.
I've never experienced that. So again, like, that's I've never seen.
You got testosterone, and it's
yeah. So I wish I could. So again, that is like great. But again, the rest, I would have liked to travel to see, and travel. No, even if other blind people are listening, travel is still 100% worth it. If you can't see, there is still so much to indulge in overseas. There's still so much to experience and learn and be exposed to, rather than just a pretty sight. But other things that I wish I could see if I was sighted again for a day. It's kind of hard, because when you look, you're not really looking at one thing. You know what I mean? There's not really, because if you look at me now, you can see me, but you can also see a microphone and a chair and a necklace and a desk.
Yeah, I mean, for example, I mean, it's like, you know, it could be looking up at the stars, could be seeing a sunrise.
I
or a
never saw
sunset.
stars.
Whoa.
I don't remember seeing stars ever. I could see the moon and maybe like one or two, but when sighted people say they look at the stars and they can see thousands of dots, I just say, wow, that sounds beautiful, because I never saw that. Even with a telescope, I remember using one and it didn't even work for me. So, and even birds and trees, I could never see birds in trees. So if there was a tui or there was a really pretty bird, I wouldn't be able to see it, because it just wouldn't. The same with blades of grass, like grass kind of just molded together. I couldn't see individual blades of grass.
Oh, since you're born.
Yeah.
Oh, this is because
Yeah.
you're born visually impaired.
Yeah, exactly. So
Ah,
even when I could see
true.
stars and birds and trees, little things like that, just were not things I could ever.
Okay, but what about women?
Yeah.
Was it like, let's say you
Well,
see,
no, women are they're much bigger than birds and trees, stars in the sky, or blades
Yeah.
of grass. So yeah, I can get really. I mean, it's not like I went like really close to.
you
a woman
just
to
need
look at
to
them.
see the curves or the voluptuous shape, or
Yeah.
but what if you seen like you seen it, you up close to the woman, you see her face, can you tell that she's attractive compared to a woman who's average?
Are we talking when I could see or
Yeah,
when?
yeah. When you could see.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, because
no,
you're saying the grass was like blurry.
Yeah.
Would
Well,
people's
not
faces...
blurry. It just molded together because
Okay.
blades of grass are just a bunch of individual blades,
Okay.
but together they're just a green mass, right?
Okay.
But no. My vision started going around 14, but I could still see pretty well at 15, 16. So, and then 17, it just went kind of around week my 17th birthday. But yeah, I could see women very clearly, and because again, how do you describe eyes? If you replace your eyes with anyone else's, you look completely different. Eyes are so individualized. So to say you look like XYZ, it doesn't paint a picture, because how do you describe eyes? Oh, they're blue. Oh, cool.
Yeah, true.
Like,
Yeah.
what, like
That's
500 million other people?
It's kind of like a thumbprint, eh?
Exactly.
Actually, I did want to
100%.
ask, this one that just popped in my head now.
Mm.
Before you were going to go completely blind, and they were like, hey, Chase, guess what? You only have 5 days left to see. Where you're like, oh shit, I got 5 days. Like, what am I going to go and see before I go completely blind? Did you ever go through that thought process?
No. I it was weird. I knew it was in the cards.
Like,
but
did you just live your normal life?
Yeah. It didn't seem like a countdown, because it wasn't something that I was told, oh, Chase, within the next 5 days, you're going to gradually go more blind. It just happened on its own. So I never really thought of it as a countdown, but it went gradually. So I guess things just gradually went with it. As the vision went, so did the things that I loved.
True.
And that was, I guess at that time, I wasn't processing it. So it went by.
So there was no like, damn, I got to see Jessica one more time.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, it wasn't. I don't think maybe, but no, I don't remember making almost a bucket list of seeing a lot of things in preparation for the great darkness. but no,
the black hole.
Yeah, like the endless void. But I think, yeah, when I guess if there was a 5 day, I would look at all my family members. I would look at as many people as I could. I would play football. I would go for a run. I'd go for a bike ride. Like, I really miss sprint. I was very fast. Like, I was good at football too. I'd never be professional, because it's like 0.00000 recurring 1% to be a super professional footballer in New Zealand. But I really enjoyed football. I really enjoyed running. I learned how to ride a bike later in life, because balance was quite tricky when you're visually impaired. So I think I was maybe 13 or 14 before I actually learned how to ride a bike. And yeah, that was fun. Like, I would have done that a lot more. So yeah, I think I would have just done a lot of physical activity. Maybe I would have stolen a car and bloody driven somewhere.
Why not?
Yeah,
why not?
Never gonna happen. So
sweet, bro.
Yeah.
Any finishing notes? Any finishing phrases or anything you want to say to me or the audience before we get out of here?
There is a Bible quote that I really don't want to mess up, so I'm going to think on it for a little while. It is, what is seen is temporary. What is seen is temporary. What is unseen is eternal. And I don't remember which book that's from, but it's from the Bible. And I think that's a good answer to, if someone asks, if God is real, why did he make you blind? It's just, what is seen is temporary, what is unseen is eternal. Because, yeah, it's something food for thought, something to ponder.
It's beautiful, bro. Beautiful.
Yeah.
And, of course, the ranking is woman and then everything else. That's what he said. I'm paraphrasing.
that actually made me think. Yeah, I think reading the Bible, like reading a book, I think reading with my eyes would have been really beautiful. Yeah.
And like seeing your brain,
like visually, because visually reading, maybe even doing some art too, because those are things you just can't really do now. Is like, I feel like if I could see, I would have a notepad on me. I'd have a little notebook that I'd just write notes in. I don't know. I think I'd do that, or have like a little Bible, like a little New Testament, or or a little notebook, and just if someone says something interesting, write it down, or if I need to do something, write it down. I feel like I would use my hands and eyes to read and write way more.
I literally have notes upon notes upon notes on my phone of just stuff that, just things.
But I can do that. You know what I mean? I mean, I like
just
writing.
having the tactile.
Yeah, I like writing, and obviously you still can write. And I have written before blind, and people can read what I'm writing, but I can't. So
Got it.
Unless I'm tagging up a bloody building with graffiti, like there's no point in me doing it. So yeah.
Easy. Well, repeat that quote, man, before, I'm paraphrasing the bro over here, woman and then everything else. But hey,
don't quote me on that.
Don't do that.
That makes me sound like such a
because actually we connect.
creep.
If we connect that to the Bible,
no.
That's what Adam did, and they got kicked out of the Garden of Eden. So
absolutely.
finish on the quote, bro.
What is seen is temporary. What is unseen is eternal.
Sweet. Podcast done. Appreciate it, bro. Appreciate your time.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome.